Kieran Tierney, I'm gonna miss you, man. When I saw you come to Arsenal and seeing the things that you done in Scotland, when you won the league so many times, where you became a Celtic legend and you were absolutely destroying all the teams in Scotland and doing what you were able to do, and it just made me think, wow, what if we were able to get a player like that? And especially after the Europa League final and seeing Arsenal get absolutely destroyed by Chelsea, I think when you came into Arsenal in the 2019-2020 season, even though it wasn't the best of times for Unai Emery and Arsenal weren't doing too great, I think through that season and through that time, we could all see how special you were, and we could all see that you were the bright spark of the team at that moment in time. And during that period, I always thought to myself, you know what, this guy has the potential to be a future Arsenal captain, because the potential was there. We could all see it. And for everyone at Arsenal, you were a fan favourite, especially what we were seeing you do in left back, the way you were able to bomb forward. We all saw what you could do, especially when it was snowing and there was ice on the pitch, and the shots that you had on your left foot and the goals you were able to score. It was truly a great thing to see, and I am just so sad that it wasn't able to work out the way that it did. And it's weird in football. I mean, there's so many trends, there's so many things that change with the times. The players like Rui Costa or Mesut Ozil and players that played the natural number 10 position like Kaká, a lot of those guys have literally just gone with the wind. They've disappeared, and football has now changed to this super robotic half eight position, if that makes sense, where you just have a lot of runners. And especially at Arsenal, where in this current formation and with these current tactics and the system, we can see that left backs are now inverted. And I could see with Kieran Tierney, he was the traditional left back. He was essentially the old school left back, the guy that you would want overlapping you, the guy that would bomb down the wing and give you crosses. And during that time, especially for Arsenal, as a traditional sense, he was great. But with this current system and with the way that Mikel Arteta has played him, he was given chances, but I just don't think it just worked out. And you could see that there were a few mistakes here and there, but there was a lot of love for Kieran Tierney, because you could see whenever he came onto the pitch, he always gave 110%. And especially even when things were not going right this season, especially when Kieran Tierney had to play left wing, for God's sake, he was still giving 110%, and he was still giving in those killer crosses that essentially we haven't seen in a very long time from a lot of other Arsenal players, to be able to deliver crosses in the box like he was doing. So it's really strange, and there's still a lot of people now that have said that they want Kieran Tierney to stay at the club, and I'm also one of those guys, but I also know that in the system that Arteta wants to play, it doesn't really fit. And we could tell for a very long time that Kieran Tierney hasn't been in Arteta's plans, and Arsenal have been trying to set him for so long, but eventually no one was going to get him. And especially with the loan he had at Real Sociedad, even then no one was really going for Kieran Tierney. And it's really sad, because with a player like that, he has so much potential, he has so much to offer. I think he'd be excellent for any team that plays in the traditional left back position, and or even left wing back position. I think he can play in anywhere down that defensive line on the left hand side. I just think that if he was to go to another league, if he were to go to Italy or Germany, I think he'd do very well there. But to see him go back to Celtic, to see him essentially rebuild his career and just get a bit more confidence back in the step, I think the future is very bright for him. I think he can do so much. And for me, he'll always be a Gooner. He'll always be somebody that I look at and admire, and someone who played with his heart on his sleeve for Arsenal. And I'm just really sad that football, especially for Kieran Tierney, hasn't worked out the way that it was meant to go for at Arsenal, especially the way I thought it would, because I really thought that this guy would have been the Arsenal captain. But I think there's just been too many injuries. I think with the way football has gone and the formations and the system that's been played, it just hasn't really worked out, and that just makes me extremely sad. But best of luck to Kieran Tierney. I hope you go out there and you show the world especially what you could do, and especially realize the potential that you can achieve. Because don't get me wrong, I mean, especially with someone of his caliber and of someone of his age, I think he's still a young guy. If I were to check his age, he's only 27 years old. I mean, we're seeing players go into their late 30s at this stage, so you never know, anything can happen. But especially with Kieran, all I can say is best of luck. Go back to Scotland, kill it over there, and I'm sure there'll be another big club that goes for you. And finally get that big move and realize your potential in the team. And it's fair to say that, you know what, at this point he doesn't know Arsenal anything at all, but whenever he has played for Arsenal, he's always played 110%, and that I always saw from him. So yeah, thank you, Kieran Tierney. It's sad to see how things have turned out, but I'm sure you will be absolutely fine wherever you go. So best of luck to you, mate. Anyhow, that's the end of this video. Please like and subscribe, and hope to see you all soon.